Hey guys, welcome back to Overland, New Zealand. So today we have a bit of a Hilux project going on. If you've seen our previous video, you know that we have very recently had a baby and he needs a seat in this car. We can't currently use it and I miss driving it. So obviously we need to get rid of the false floor in there and put the seats back in. And I thought we'd go one better and try and quieten down the cab just a little bit. You know, these things are pretty loud. A lot of it does come from the roof and the engine and the tires and things like that. But there's also a heap of noise that comes through the back wall here. It is just basically a piece of sheet metal with some kind of covering on it to hide the paint. So I thought today we'd chuck some sound deadening in. So this is just a cheap sound deadening product that I picked up from JCar. It's about a third of the price all up than some of the other known brands. I thought we'll give it a whirl. If it works well, cool. If not, no major loss. But it's like a foamy, foily, thick, self-adhesive product. And I'm hoping it's kind of whack it on the back wall and maybe just down on the floor here, as it is just carpet straight over the bare metal. Now, all I'm really hoping to do here is to stop the kind of echoing that happens in the back, and it will be better once the back seats are in. But if I can quiet it down, you know, just that little bit more, I'm gonna be very happy. So yeah, let's go out for a drive, see kind of how loud it is in the cab already, and then we'll come back, remove all the false floor, everything like that, chuck some of this in, put the seats back in, and see if it's made any difference at all. Let's go.
Thanks to our patrons for help making this possible. Learn more in the description below.
Alright, so coming onto the highway, as we travel usually, minus the fridge, see how loud this actually is. It's a windy day, so it's going to be a little bit of extra roof noise and stuff, but that's all good. Up to 100 and we'll see what it says. I'm hoping that the phone can pick up the sound levels in here. Most of the noise does come from kind of the back wall there, so we'll see what it says. 100 kilometers an hour, around 80 decibels according to my little phone meter there. So I'm not sure if the sound deadening is going to kind of quieten down the phone reading or not, just because it is quite echoey in here, but I'm hoping that it does, and it's at least noticeable. Like putting the seats in does help. Hopefully with the extra padding and the seats, it's much quieter in here, just so that when little dude's riding with us, it's a bit quieter and it's easier on long journeys. So yeah, let's get back home, start my install, see what happens. Hopefully it's good. Alright, so first thing I need to do is get rid of the top layer here. Basically just held on by the hinge, a couple of screws, unplug all the electrics, and that should all just lift out, done. And then the bottom layer, under here, I don't think we're going to see them on camera, but just in there, there's 2 bolts. Undo those and this whole thing lifts out. So let's get rid of that layer first and give me some room to start working. Cool, so man, there's a lot of rubbish in here. It's been a while since I've taken this out and cleaned it out properly. It's alright. Let's chuck this all in the front for now. Deal with it soon. So, platform's out. It's basically just some squares in here, some washers, just so it sits nice and flat on the seatbelt mounts, some on the other side. rests on the floor, and yeah, it's been wonderful. It's a shame to be losing it. Anyway, next job, getting this off and finding out what's actually behind this piece of, I don't even know what it is, foam, and start installing the silencing stuff. So I may give a bit of a vacuum. It's quite grubby in here. So as you can hear, that kind of rattles real bad, and it is just a piece of sheet metal between here and the outside. So what I'm hoping is that by putting a bit of sound deadening on this and laying it under this piece of, I don't even know what this is, it's not carpet, it's like felt, we kind of dull down that hollowness and just stop that noise, because quite a lot of road noise comes up from the wheels through the back of the cab here. I'm also going to put some just on the floor, which is just out of sight, as once again it's a really thin piece of carpet, and I'm sure any sound deadening is going to make a huge difference. So yeah, let's try and get this off, see what's actually behind there, and hope that I bought enough of the silencing stuff. Well, that's not as flat as I was expecting, but should still do the trick. See, I'm not going to do just up here, as this is where the plastic trim piece goes, and I don't want to make that harder to fit than it needs to be. So I might start kind of under here, just below it all, and we'll go down to the floor and then work our way towards the front of the cab. It's definitely not what I expected though. I mean, I don't know why, I assume there has to be some strength there, but so, got a roll of deadener. Let's see just how much this actually covers. Not a lot. So looking at that, we're going to do 4 rolls to the back, and then whatever I've got left on the floor here, just to create that nice kind of join and stop the vibration coming up there. Now let's give this a go. I'm kind of excited. I'm assuming that I just kind of roll it on, and I've got one of those roller things. Squeeze it all down and we're good to go. That's the back wall done. That was 4 sheets of the sound deadening stuff. I'm glad I went out and got a few more, as I originally only had 2. It seems to have made quite a big difference. There's much less kind of vibration now when you hit it, which is quite nice. And hopefully on the road it is noticeable. So that's the finished product. Looks pretty good. Chuck everything back together now. So yeah, back seat's back in. It's strange seeing it set up as a car again. It can actually take more than 2 people. So yeah, it's just gone 4:30 on a Friday night, so I'm gonna avoid heading out into rush hour just because that's never fun. We might go out for a bit of a cruise this evening and see if or how much difference it's made. I'm real curious. Like the back wall, everything sounds quieter now, so it's going to be very interesting to see just how much better it is, or if it's better at all. And we're back at where I started earlier. It's the same stretch of road, the wind has dropped a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see how much difference, if any, it makes. So, pulling onto the motorway yet again. Kilometers an hour. We got 70 decibels. 10 decibels less, and I know there's less of a headwind at the moment, so that will make a small amount of difference, but it is so much quieter in here. And like, I know that the seats do make a big difference and do drain out quite a lot of that kind of drone from the back, but I can hear more from the front than the rear now. It's amazing. So for a couple of hours of time, and I think it's about 200 bucks, 250 bucks, wasn't much, but I'm not sponsored in any way by this. It's just a project that I really wanted to do. It's now way, way quieter. I'm stoked. Still don't know why Toyota couldn't do that from the factory though. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how long it lasts, and if I have any issues with the sticky backing stuff coming off. And fingers crossed I rolled it on well enough, and once it warms up a couple of times it gets real sticky and just stays there. So I'm so stoked. I can't believe how much more peaceful it is in here. It's probably not really going to come through on camera compared to earlier. See, all I can really hear is the wind on the roof, a little bit of tyre roar from the front, not really much else. I can't believe how much of a difference that's made. It's crazy what, you know, I guess the seats and a bit of silence it can do. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember that if you want to see like behind the scenes and all this stuff first, you can check out our Patreon. There's a link in the description below. Every single pledge makes a huge difference. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thanks heaps for watching. Catch you next time on Overland.